We are in the thick of the Ohio Valley Conference basketball season. We'll talk both men's and women's, beginning with Sam Williams, the head coach of the Colonels. You play at Belmont and TSU this weekend, like the men do. But back to the win over SIU Edwardsville, got that first conference win, and I know you really needed that in a bad way.
Well, our team really needed it. Obviously, it's anytime you can get a win over any opponent, that's great. But I was really excited for our kids to get that win, and for the kids that were returning from last year, just to end that streak. So it was very rewarding. I was happy for the kids.
They play hard. I mean, you have to be very proud the way they play because you have a short bench. I mean, you're only 3 or 4 off the bench at times.
Right, and that's something, they play hard. They give me everything they got. And, we're just focusing on hey, play hard every possession. And, we've been able to have, I think, a pretty successful season so far for what we took over and where we're trying to get to. So I'm just happy for the kids.
7-8 overall are the Colonels. 3-3 on the road, a win over Xavier, a win over Memphis. So you have played well away from home as a team.
We have. And that's one of the things that I think, anytime with the game this Thursday, the defending conference champion, our kids, I tell them, hey, you got to be ready to play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that's the mentality that we're going to take going into on Thursday.
Belmont's been to the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row now. They lost a great player in Darby Maggard, but they have the Minsterman player back. They have the OVC preseason player of the year in L.A. Harmeyer back as well. So they're loaded still, even though they lost a couple. They're loaded,
and Bart does a great job. I worked with him at DePaul back in 2006, 2007. So I'm familiar with his style of play. And they are still, despite their record, and they've played a tough schedule if you look at their schedule.
2 top 25 teams.
2 top 25 games. So it's going to be a formidable challenge, but our kids will have a good week of practice and go in expecting to win.
The one thing that jumps out at me a little bit about Belmont, they did have the one loss at Tennessee Martin, another team at the top of the OVC. They have committed more turnovers than they have in the past.
They have. They're a little bit more susceptible to ball pressure, but they shoot it very well. So anytime, a team is struggling, they still shoot it fairly well. So that'll be the challenge, is trying to balance ball pressure and then getting out to their shooters.
And then the only team without a win yet in the OVC is next on Saturday, TSU. So I know you would love to win them both, but you at least have to come out of there with a split in Nashville, you would hope.
Well, we're going to try and win both games. Anytime you're on the road, though, it's a challenge because obviously your opponents, it's their home court. So both games present different challenges for different reasons. But our kids, like I said, we'll have a good week of preparation for both. And then just trying to go in with the mentality of, like I said earlier, about playing anybody, anywhere, anytime.
There are 6 players on your team averaging between 6 and 9 points. But scoring has been your biggest challenge as a team. But do you like the fact that you're a balanced team and you don't know who's going to, can't focus on one player as the opposition?
Well, I love that. My teams in the future will always be a balanced scoring team. I think it makes you harder to scout that way. And right now, I'm really trying to instill confidence in our kids to shoot. I've given everyone the green light to shoot. But right now we're just, for whatever reason, a little hesitant to shoot. But myself and my staff, we're working on that.
All right, Sam, good luck in Nashville this week.
Thank you very much.
Sam Williams, the head coach of the Colonels. Here's what's ahead. It'll be Belmont Thursday. It's a 6 o'clock Eastern time game. The Colonels take on TSU across town in Nashville. That game tips Saturday at 3 o'clock. We'll have the call at 92.5 FM, 1340 AM. You can find it streamed at EKUsports.com and also the video stream on ESPN+. We'll switch to men's basketball and meet one of the players that's really playing well in the OVC, Lachlan Anderson, when we come back.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
At Eastern Kentucky University, we recognize greatness starts in the classroom, but it doesn't end there. You have to get hands-on, get real-world experience, and discover who you are meant to be. Be a crime fighter. Be a visionary. Be a colonel. See what you can be. Visit go.eku.edu/colonel.
The EKU men's basketball team heads to Nashville for 2 games this week, coming off 2 wins at home. And our guest is senior forward Lachlan Anderson. Lachlan, you've been playing really well, averaging over 11 points, shooting well over 50% from the field, including 3 in OVC games. How have you been able to really turn the game up as we get into league play?
Yeah, you know, a lot of these younger guys haven't played in OVC games before, and home stands are really important for us. And I told Coach that I was just going to come in and give all the energy I could to try and, you know, break us over that hump and start this second half of the season the right way.
There was a 5-game stretch where he averaged 7 minutes a game. You could have been downcast and given up and sulked, but you didn't. You just brought energy when you finally got your chance, and now you've earned more minutes. Yeah, you know, that's just how I've been my whole life. You know, I've always, there's anything that brings adversity to me, I don't just shut down. You know, I'm ready to continue to fight, and I know that I can earn trust and earn minutes back, and I'm happy that I've been able to do that. So I've been through a lot here at Eastern, and I knew that I just had to keep going. 2 monumental dunks, and dunks get a lot of highlight play just because they're dunks, but both of yours in the win on Saturday over SIU Edwardsville were big. You've now had 20 in your career. Was one of those 2 your favorite all time, if you remember back? You know, the second one, the putback dunk, that's definitely up there, just with the crowd and how everyone was. And then the first one was good too. It sort of got demeaned by the tech, so it's sort of just like in a bad dunk category for me. But the fast break against Jacksonville State last year was a pretty good one too at Berea. So they're probably my 2 highest. I think right now I'm excited about the putback because it was pretty nice, in my opinion. I think when you, in the summer of 2016, came from Australia to America on a college basketball scholarship, you think back then, and you're in a new country all by yourself, to where you are now. How's it different? Oh, it's insane. That's crazy. You know, I was very homesick. I was skinnier. I didn't know many people at all. People didn't understand what I would speak and say. You know, I mean, I still spoke English, but it was very hard to understand me. So since then, a lot has changed. You know, I sat on the bench a lot. I gained weight, but I wasn't getting there basketball-wise. And I think now just being able to be a senior leader on a team like this is something pretty special for me. So off to Nashville, where there are 2 really good teams waiting for you, like EKU, 3-1, a game out of first place in a tie for third. Belmont on Thursday. We know all about Belmont, and then Tennessee State. So going to Nashville, this will not be an easy road trip. No, it won't be an easy one at all. I've told a lot of the guys that OVC play on the road is a lot harder than it is at home. Thankfully, in my opinion, it's a good road trip to start with because we stay in the same hotel. We play 2 teams that are relatively close, not a lot of travel, so we're going to be able to lock in a little easier rather than having travel in between games. But you know, Belmont is always a beast to guard and play against, and Tennessee State's a hard place to go in and get some wins as well. So they're going to be 2 really, really tough games for us this week, but I think we work really, really hard for games like this. I know your family is able to listen, sometimes watch back in Australia. Been a tough time for your country with all the fires there. Any update on that? Yeah, it's something that's just so unfortunate, and there's been a little bit of rain here and there, which has helped slow them down a little bit. But because it's the summertime, it's just so harsh, and the dry scrub just keeps catching fire, and it can be anything. So a lot of people are told to not light campfires, don't throw your cigarette butts out the window and things like that because they start it. But I'm pretty sure the number is about 1 billion animals estimated to have passed away, and a lot of people have lost their lives and their homes as well. So it's a tough time for Australia, but
like I said, they pull together really well, the Australian people.
All right, proud of you. Keep it going this year.
I will. I'll try my best.
All right, senior forward Lachlan Anderson with us. Here's what's ahead for the Colonels on Thursday. It'll be Belmont and EKU tipping at the Curb Event Center at 9 o'clock. Then it'll be over to the Gentry Complex to take on the Tigers of TSU. That one will tip Saturday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll have the coverage at 100.7 FM on the TuneIn app and also streamed at EKUsports.com. Belmont will be broadcast on ESPNU. For TSU, we'll switch to Plus. When we come back, we'll meet a two-sport athlete at EKU, Drew Hart, a football player and a thrower on the track and field team.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
At Eastern Kentucky University, we recognize greatness starts in the classroom, but it doesn't end there. You have to get hands-on, get real-world experience, and discover who you are meant to be. Be a rising star. Be a hero. Be a colonel. See what you can be. Visit go.eku.edu/colonel.
Drew Hart is a two-sport athlete at EKU. In the fall, football on the offensive line, and in the winter and spring, he's a track athlete as a thrower. Drew, you did this in high school through the shot, so why continue that in college as well?
In high school I always had the dream of playing college football, and I really didn't know if I would end up throwing shot put and discus as well. And at the end of the season last year, football season, the track coach came up to me and asked if I would like to throw. And immediately I was like, yeah, I would love to. And I really don't know why I did, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, 4 or 5, 6 football players go over. You're either a thrower or probably a hurdler or a sprinter. Mm-hmm. But do you think it helps break up, I don't want to say the monotony of one sports season, but it just kind of gives you something new, refreshes you a little bit?
I think that's why I did it, is kind of change of atmosphere and change of scenery. I still do workouts with the football team and conditioning like that, but just the different people from different countries and the relationships that you build with them is pretty amazing.
You not only throw the shot in the outdoor season, you do the discus. Are they similar, or is it a total different discipline where you have to learn something different?
They're pretty similar. I actually did not throw discus in high school. I started that last year in the spring, and I actually started spinning as well. I did the glide, and it's a lot different than this glide, but it's pretty similar once you get the spin down.
The OVC indoor and outdoor are championships that the Colonels have won over the years, and every point counts. So we think of it as an individual endeavor, but the team aspect is really interesting in college.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you try to get 3 or 4 guys in a certain race to get as many points as you can, and I know that we have 4 throwers that do both shot and discus, and kind of having the numbers wise kind of helps to get more points and eventually win the championship.
You mentioned winter workouts, so on the football side of things, new coach with Walt Wells as new head coach. You'll have a new position coach as well, so those are underway too, right?
Mm-hmm. We had our first workout yesterday. It was great. Great atmosphere. Coach Naylor's back, which is great. We love him a lot, and he certainly wanted to be back with us. And we got the day off today, actually, so we'll start back up again tomorrow.
The table has been set. I mean, 2 7-win seasons in a row. Do you feel like with Parker at quarterback, and we're going to have to replace Daryl McCleskey at running back, Booth will be back, and you have a couple of freshmen that will move in as well, that'll be sophomores. Do you feel like there's another step to be taken this coming year on the football field?
I definitely think there should be another step taken on the football field. I think it starts with us up front on the offensive line and defensive line. I'm really excited about the upcoming season. I think we have high expectations for ourselves.
That all begins against Western Carolina on September 5th. Back to you off the field. Your parents are both teachers, and you are a business major. So post-football, what's Drew Hart going to do?
You know, I haven't really thought about that. Obviously, I'd like to play in the NFL, you know, but if that doesn't work out, I've always thought about working realty maybe, or management, marketing, something in that field, or obviously coaching. I like interacting with people, and I wouldn't really want to sit behind the desk all day. And I'd like to get out and talk to people, interact.
Well, good luck the rest of the indoor and outdoor seasons for the track and field team, Drew.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Drew Hart. Up next for the EKU track and field team is the Thundering Herd Invitational over at Marshall University. That's on January 24th and 25th. That does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. You can like and follow all of our social media pages to keep up with Colonel Athletics. As always, go Big E.